you mentioned adrenaline, and one of the questions that's sort of linked to your approach is, how do you, well, it's kind of two questions, I suppose. One, how did that inform your approach? And two, understanding that adrenaline in these different circumstances, how do you get them to avoid, for example, freezing from being overwhelmed by the adrenaline? Because I was attacked once when I was walking back home from work, and it was in the middle of the day. I remember just getting home and just like, I still couldn't process it. I remember sitting in my living room afterwards and thinking, what the hell has just happened? I can't believe that I couldn't compute. How do you prepare them for something like that? Because it is very different to, you're in your dojo and you're saying, right, Michael, right, Jake, boom, 3 minutes, you're sparring, go.
Okay, so this is the psychology side of it. This is digging into really deep into someone's mind. First of all, you have to educate them on what the real world is. Most people will still not want to accept that. I mean, YouTube is a classic example. Every time you try to give an example, you get age restricted. If you try to say something, for example, there's certain words you can't use because YouTube wants to present this. And I'm using this as an opportunity to flag this because I think it's really important for people to know. But we're creating a society where we're pretending violence doesn't exist. Which is what I said earlier in this interview. But it does exist. And unfortunately, while we try to pretend it doesn't exist, it just continues to propagate. So the first thing is acceptance. Dealing with violence, you have to develop a sense of acceptance. You have to accept that there are bad people out there and they will do bad things. Then you also have to accept the circumstances. And the circumstances are that, yes, you will have adrenaline, which is going to affect your judgment and your fighting ability. Likewise, they will have adrenaline, but depending on who's initiating the attack, and if you've got, let's just say it is a bad guy, it's a criminal, right? He's going to smash you in the back of the skull with a rock, which is a shock and awe, that I often speak about when I talk about robbery, to pull everything off you and then basically strip everything you've got and then run off. He is likely to have adrenaline too, but probably a little bit less than you. So he's implementing what's going on.
He's planning it.
In control.
Yeah.
He's planning exactly.
Yeah.
Now add on top of that, what happens if they're on some sort of substance?
Right.
Nobody ever considers that. When you're teaching someone self-defense, how many instructors say, okay, so the guy's likely to be on XYZ substance?
0.
What's that going to do to their physical response? Are they going to be more enhanced?